I'm Adam Niffen.
No, I'm Jeremy Cocaine.
This is Smith Welding Restoration. Nothing to add to that?
Well, it's where we work. It's what we do. We make things pretty.
I got some rosettes and shit to grind down. That's in. I got to go up underneath and plug weld where everything meets the drop-offs, the outer wheel arch. I've got some repairs to do. That's underneath the car at this point. Everything else is shored up. New trunk pan. It's mounted, body mounts. We're on this now. You saw the state this was in. We all know how bad that was. We need to get this reestablished in some manner. I broke my little metal brake that I had made. What I'm going to do is I'm going to Z-flange this 3/4 inch and half. That matches what I cut out. And I use just cut off wheel and my recip, my air reciprocating saw. Knocked all the mud out of it because it was just, you can see, gone. We're gonna get that bent. We're gonna use a shrinker stretcher to get that shape. Cleaned up. That is how I made that seam. Drop it in. I got some trimming to do. I'll trim it into place. Trim the radius, make sure it fits. Drop the radius. There's that line. There's that repair. Very little distortion issue. That frame was all rotted out. We replaced the steel. We've gone through and we've actually stitched together to the good metal our inner wheel arch. We've got to cut up a bunch of that and pull it out and patch it. We've got a rocker welded up to right there. I gotta get inside and finish that up properly. We got this mostly blocked down on top, the fiberglass we put on top of our weld. We got that little bit of short strand laid in there on top of that weld. Got all this dress, we got a little more short strand in there. We got this dress good. The frame, and I'll give you some photos, still photos. It was rotted out all the way up into here, down, across here, down underneath, all the way underneath. We put 2 pieces of steel in there. This box beam is 11 gauge or even slightly less. We went ahead and put 11 gauge steel in there. We made I made a template with a piece of thinner steel on the bottom, traced it out, and I just kind of took a little thin piece of steel, traced it out and tweaked it up into place, and then traced it onto the 11 gauge, and then we got that welded up into place, fitted, ground down and dressed, so I didn't have to crawl around on my back anymore once I was done there. Came around here and I just laid tape and I ran a razor blade around it because I wanted it to fit kind of loose. It's almost 1/8 inch steel. You want a little tiny, a tight butt joint isn't going to do what you want. Plus I wanted this fillet along this edge open so I could fill that full of weld, overfill it with weld, and then grind it down and dress it so it has a nice rounded edges like the rest of the frame. So we went and took and did that. That is an adequate repair, and that's all we need in there. It's an inner wheel arch. We are going to undercoat it anyhow. Would I have rather cut it out? Yeah. We're well beyond out of time on this, and I've got more metal fabrication hours on this than I ever dreamt, let alone allotted for. Interesting thing with Scarlett is when she came in, like I said, it's been a year to get it to this stage, and that's not working on it every day. You can do something like that if you can work on it every day for 8 hours, 1 or 2 guys. You can do it in about 3 months. But shop chat and discuss Scarlett. I had to go in, clean up welds that are ugly. Seam seal some shit. I gotta trim this back. Some of my rosettes turned out like shit. It just is. So that's where we're at right now with the 71 Monte. This side's done. Frame section repair, you saw that. I had to put in some new metal down here. Looks like I gotta plug weld that, knock a hole in it. I welded up all the holes, all the trim holes. I had to put a piece back here for the inner rocker because it was rotted and gone. I had to section that in because the lip, the bot, this is okay, but this had rotted off here. Yeah, it's not super sexy, but it's right there where we need to be. The option of sectioning this in versus getting wheel arches was the time involved to do the wheel arches. Those that have done them, you know what I mean, because your trunk supports and everything are in there. Both the inner and outer wheel houses really needed to have been replaced. They didn't. We didn't. There you have it. I got, on the driver's side, I got everything welded to the floor pan, trunk pan where it goes. I'm gonna peek down here now. There's some rot there. That's all been trimmed back. It's a good 2 inches more material all the way around there. We'll section it in. I'll finish cutting out this rotted shit, that rotted shit, this wheel arch here. I want to employ techniques on this wheel arch here, on this outer wheelhouse that I learned in application on that 2500. So I should be able to do this in maybe 3 pieces instead of as many as I had to before. This isn't all stitched up yet. That isn't all stitched up yet. So that's what we're working on. We're going to stiffen all this, rigid it all up. And we got holes. I've got trim holes all the way down. That's not rot. Yeah, that's rot. So I got to cut that out and replace it, repair it, whatever. The inner rockers look okay. Now this is the boom bada. This is the big motherfucker here. And what I've got for that, I'm getting ready to cut this off of there. Ooh. And that's a piece of 1/4 inch bar stock. It's got a double lap underneath there. Okay, the last time I didn't have to cut, but to where it laps, and then I lapped it over and on the other side. And this was all gone. So I'm going to go ahead and double thick the bottom and regular thick the side, how it belongs, and dress it accordingly. I'm shaping it with a ball peen. You can see the hammer marks. I actually have my dolly block, my 1/2 inch plate steel block I use for a dolly. I set it on here, smash it so past it so it brings the curve up, get it so it's propped up off the floor. I smash it into the floor and it just curves it slowly. It's just about brought me to what I need for a shape. I'll cut it to length and then I'll trim it to fit later after I get the profile right. But that's got a curve to it. Now you're done with that, the frame will look good as new. Just like the other side. We'll come underneath there with a cup wheel, we'll clean up, undercoat everything from the pinch weld lips for the inner and outer rockers in. There's still some stuff underneath it that will have to be addressed one day. It's out of our scope. We can't spend that amount of time underneath that car that it really needs. What this car needs, it will never be affordable to give it. We are doing everything we can in the best fashion, the most cost-effective fashion we can to put it back out there, something we're showing off and being proud of. Ralph and Denise will be very proud of this car, and justifiably so. It'll be a very nice car when we get done. We get in situations like this, and I can give it the 100% finish, but some of the other stuff I can only go 90% or so. Does that make sense? The bad part about restorations, especially Iowa restorations, is the last 10% takes 80% more time. It don't sound right, I know, but trust me, it does. I would have this thing until fucking snow flies again if we dug into some of the other things that will need addressed one day. They'll have to be addressed one day. Till then, they will get many fine years of cruising out of this baby. I guess for now, that's all I got. Scarlet, 1971, Monte Carlo. Coming along nicely. Thanks for checking in. Come back on the next one. See what the hell we're doing this time. Subscribe, comment. Find us on over on the Facebook. Smith Welding Restoration LLC on Facebook. Numbers at the beginning. Have any questions? Call.